May I first of all thank you, members of the Four of the State from this region, for accompanying us to the various projects that we have visited since Monday in Kiambu, Murang'a, and Kirinyaga counties, and passing the information to our people on the government achievements towards betterment of their welfare. I wish to affirm the government's commitments to actualizing its promises to the people, hence the essence of our presence in Central Region this week with the aim of communicating the projects and programs being undertaken at the counties for the purpose of getting public feedback and ensuring that they meet their expectations. Let me focus on affordable housing program in the Central Kenya region. The government undertakes to put up 1 million affordable housing units in 5 years, first targeting of about 700,000, and currently about 109,000 units are being constructed. And this is on course with already 14 of the projects ongoing in Central Region, the 5 counties, all of them, and they are at various stages of completion. And we promise, as government, a profound socioeconomic impact as witnessed in our tour. The projects comprise, actually, let me correct this, 7,628 affordable housing units, not 5,000, employing an average of 2,130 daily workers on site. So over 2,000 people are getting daily bread from this, with an additional 5,000 skilled and low-skilled workers engaged directly and indirectly off-site across the housing economic value chain in the region. The State Department for Housing and Urban Development and the National Housing Corporation have ring-fenced 1.135 billion for the Jua Kali and MSMEs in this region to produce steel doors, steel windows, wooden doors, joinery, and balustrades, as well as landscaping on site in these 14 projects. For example, in Ruiru, we found the Ruiru bypass fabricators. They have been given a total of 107 million shillings contract that is going to enable them to make a difference in their lives. This money will actually go a long way to engage the youth in skilled and semi-skilled and unskilled employment, while formalizing the Jua Kali clusters into circles across the 5 counties to provide for resources of upskilling artisans and developing these cottage industries. And it is very important to say, if you look at the integrated way in which we as government are doing it, we have already certified 213 artisans due to having prior experience. And also at the same time, we are very keen on those who may not have had an opportunity to go to school to register in the Open University of Kenya, or UK, where we have 3,289 students, so that then you can have the certification that is supposed to actually domicile your learning, so that you are seen to be competent and qualified. Very, very important. Of course, at the same time, there are those who are benefiting from being mamambogas, selling food and other wares, providing for the stones, providing for the sand, supplying, to these humongous projects that have not been witnessed heretofore. The region's projects overview for the affordable housing program, and it's also good to say that this is our theme for the Mashujaa Day in Kwale, so that's why we are really highlighting this, is that the 14 AHP projects include 2 in Kirinyaga County, that is Kirinyaga AHP with 100 units here in Kirinyaga town, and also the Geshogo AHP, which is 110 units. So here in Kirinyaga, we have 210 units. We also have 2 in Nyeri County, that is Nyeri Blue Valley AHP with 381 units, and Orengo AHP in Nyeri Town with 478 units. When it comes to Nyandarua, we have 3 of them. That is Kinangop North AHP with 220 units, and Olkalau AHP by the National Housing Corporation, 100 units, and Olkalau AHP by the State Department for Housing with 420 units. So there are 2 segments, National Housing Corporation and the State Department. We have 1 in Murang'a County, which has got 220 units in Mackenzie. Very interesting. And also we have 6 projects in Kiambu County, because Kiambu is becoming the dormitory city of Nairobi. People are, growing houses more than the cash crops as it used to be. So 1,050 units in Ruiru, where I come from. And Thika AHP, King's Orchids, 975 units. Thika Depot AHP, 436 units. Thika Bustani AHP, 996 units. And Kikuyu Kabete AHP, which is 1,404 units, and the Limuru AHP, which is 738 units. So you can see that's quite a lot, over 7,000 units, going forward. Aligned with the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, the Better Plan, these projects serve as part of a larger program. As I said earlier, they are being rolled out across the country, comprising more than 700,000 units in the medium term, all almost to provide affordable housing solutions to the hustler families. This is a great achievement of the Kenya Kwanza government's plan of constructing over 1 million houses in the next 5 years going forward, because we have a deficit of 200,000 houses countrywide every year, and the mortgage facilities as of 2022 would only cover about 50,000 people. So already we have surpassed this demand or supply for that matter. And so it is very important that we take advantage of this. The projects are also aimed at creating employment opportunities for both skilled and unskilled labor to the communities around the localities, and also create business opportunities such as food vendors in the nearby shopping centers, as well as attachment and internship opportunities to the neighboring learning institutions, along with associated social and physical infrastructure improvements on the necessary amenities such as schools, markets, and dispensaries, and of course also police posts, to serve the occupants of the units and to help them lead a dignified life. For example, we met a lady, I think her name is Carol. She's from Thika Technical, and she's doing a diploma in engineering, and she was there demonstrating to us in Murang'a what is happening. We also had a gentleman by the name of Mololo, who is employed. There's also Wanjiru, who is not actually from Kiambu, but is from Taita Taveta, but has since settled in Ruiru because that's where she got a job. So you can see there's a lot of movement, and people are getting to have opportunities because of these programs. And you can imagine if you have a unit like here, 100 units or 210 units, multiplied by 5, that's a whole market of 1,000 people that you can supply to. Even the people of Tuk-Tuk and Boda Boda will be able to transport, even Uber, they'll be able to transport such individuals when they are going to and from work or school or any other economic activity. A beneficiary of the AHP program, Julia Wanjiru, is full of praise of the gains being churned out of these housing projects. Born in Taita Taveta County, Wanjiru has found a renewed purpose through her involvement in the project, balancing manual labor with food sales. So that's a true hustler. She has managed to educate her children single-handedly as a single mother. And this is what he had to say. This project has kept us all busy. No one is idle or going hungry, she says, referring to the accrued benefits of the project in her newly found home of Ruiru town in Kiambu County. So, and there are so many Wanjirus who are there. We have another lady also we found there called Molenje from Western Kenya, who is also benefiting from the same and taking care of her family. And some of these women, even their husbands, are not working. But at the same time, we also found complaints of local youth just working for a day and then going away. So we also need to ensure that we inculcate discipline amongst the youth so that they can also be able to keep a job. You know, not just getting the money that they need for their basic needs. Maybe they want to buy a trouser or two, and then they forget that they actually need to work for long. So that's one of the things that we're also trying to do so. And also, if you look at it clearly, we are having houses that are more family-based when you are moving away from Nairobi. So if you look at the project, for example, in Murang'a, it is bed-sitter or studios, and then 2 and 3 bedrooms, because you are likely to have more families there. But if you look at the Ruiru project, there are quite a number, 544 one-bedroom houses, because of course there may be minimal single people who are going out there to look for work. So it is very, very well integrated. If you look at the Homa Bay project, it is actually having even a school, and it's going all the way to the fish market at Koginga. So it's very well thought out. Now, over and above this, we are also looking at the cooperative movement so that people can save money in SACCOs. Regarding the cooperative and the micro, small, and medium enterprise, which is another one of the 5 pillars, the government is committed to promoting growth and development of cooperatives under its bottom-up economic transformation agenda, the BETTER plan. This is mainly happening through semi-autonomous government agencies, including the New Kenya Cooperative Creameries, that is NKCC, whose mandate is to procure high-quality raw milk, process, and package and market it along its value-added products. So already you can remember the pronouncements that the President has made in this regard. The other agency is the New Kenya Planters Cooperative Union, NKPCU, to provide affordable housing, affordable credit, to coffee farmers, mill and market their coffee. So please, we are urging people to actually do their coffee. The BETTER plan revolves around mobilization of actors in the economy into cooperatives, societies, including the registration of cooperatives in the 9 priority value chains of rice. So there are 9, please note them. 9, tea, livestock and beef, dairy production, edible oils, artisanal miners is a value chain, blue economy, and the artisanal fishing, textiles and apparel, alongside construction and affordable housing. Let me repeat them for clarity. Rice, tea, I do know rice is very important here, tea, livestock and beef, that is dairy production as well, edible oil, artisanal miners, and then blue economy, which also includes some form of mining, and then artisanal fishing. And when we say artisanal, we mean small scale, where we are even organizing people into BMUs, beach management units, and textile and apparel, that is because of the cotton, and then construction and affordable housing. So you can see it's very, very clear what are the value chains that we are trying to make sure that they work well. The BETTER plan further facilitates cooperatives ventures through provision of cooperative aggregation infrastructure. The specific projects and programs for facilitation of the cooperative activity in the value chain include construction of a cooperative cotton ginnery in Kwale County, modernization and expansion of the new KCC processing infrastructure, affordable credit to coffee farmers, coffee debt waiver, and refurbishment of bulk coffee handling facilities. In the last 2 years, the government has attained a number of achievements in the cooperative subsector, key amongst them registration of 389 cooperative societies across the 9 priority value chains, which can be broken into 3 cooperatives for rice, 1 in the tea sector, 22 in livestock and beef, 62 in the dairy production, 41 in edible oils, 117 in the artisanal miners, 104 for the blue economy, and artisanal fishing, 17. Like that, and apparel, and 22 for the construction of affordable housing in the cooperative societies. The new Kenya Cooperative Creameries, NKCC, has been designed to ensure that the buyer of milk of the last resort is actually that organization in order to mitigate against low milk prices. And currently, the entity is serving 60,000 dairy farmers through 300 dairy cooperatives and other farmer organizations, majority of whom are really from this region. So this is our own product. The new KCC reached a processing capacity of 875,000 liters, that is 250,000 liters of dairy milk and 650,000 liters of raw milk, with completion of modernization of facilities having been at 85% by June 2023. So you can see they really have the capacity to take almost all of our milk. Further, a total of 2,221 metric tons of milk powder was produced using this installed capacity during the enhanced rainy season of the financial year 2023-2024. And in that regard, following the setting of the El Nino rains, in November 2023, the NKCC made a request of 1.5 billion to the parent Ministry of Cooperatives and MSMEs Development for support to facilitate mop-up of excess milk so that you don't have a milk glut. The government was able, because of budgetary constraints, to give 900 million of the money in December 2023. So that's why you can see that capacity is that high. The government has also allocated more funds in the current financial year for milk powder processing and completion of the last phase of NKCC modernization project. So don't stay there with your milk. There is capacity to buy, and we continue to increase it so that we can benefit all of us. Now let's come to the new KPCU. The new KPCU has in the last 2 years disbursed credit totaling to 4.95 billion to 365,972 coffee farmers spread across the 26 coffee growing counties through the Coffee Cherry Advanced Revolving Fund, according to records by the new KPCU here in central Kenya. So you can see the numbers, 4 billion, actually let's call it 5 billion, that is going to nearly 400,000 farmers. This is unprecedented. And the 4 growing counties of Kiambu, Kirinyaga, Murang'a, and Nyeri have actually received a total sum of 2.309 billion, and this has benefited 182,827 farmers. So it's actually the lion's share of that. There was also an increased coffee milling activity nationally. The new KPCU mills with 8,470 metric tons of coffee that was milled in the financial year 2023-2024 against 878 tons in the financial year 2022-2023. So you can see, look at 878 tons against 8,470. Basically, even if you do a quick mathematics, that's over, it's like 10 times actually. So it's really, really, really commendable that we are going back to coffee growing and coffee manufacturing, because for a long time, that was not the case. So it's a big achievement for the government. A coffee debt waiver to the tune of 2 billion is actually going to be granted in this financial year across 26 counties. And this will actually ensure that the value chain promotion and promotion of Kenya coffee abroad is really prioritized so that we have more of new markets, including China and Asian countries, consuming. And if we do that, then we expect to rake in 21.3 billion as a country, but we'll only use about 75 million for that exercise. So it's really, really, really commendable. The Cherry Fund was established to provide affordable, sustainable, and accessible cherry advances to smallholder coffee farmers, the hustler farmers, those who have less than 20 acres. And we people in central Kenya here, that is the norm. Even getting 2 acres, you are very rich. So less than 20 acres of land under coffee. And the new KPCU was given the mandate to manage and administer the fund as per the Public Finance Management Act, Coffee Cherry Advanced Revolving Fund regulations of 2020. It was further enhanced by His Excellency President William Ruto's administration and is currently being disbursed at the rate of 40% of the prevailing average sales price at the coffee exchange at factory level, and Kenya shillings 20 per kilogram of cherry delivered, or 40% of the payment rate to members by a cooperative society for the immediate past crop year. The boni is also eligible for additional advances. So don't just say it's the cherry itself. Even if you have money, you can get it. The fund does not accrue any interest. Please note that. and farmers are only charged a one-off of 3% administrative fees. A smallholder coffee estate or smallholder coffee grower is eligible to benefit from the fund if one is a Kenyan citizen, member of a registered coffee cooperative society or affiliated to the new KPCU, and needs to just have an identity card or a passport and a membership card of the new KPCU. So please, wakulima tuweze kuregister hapo. The government commits to continue mobilization of individuals into cooperatives to ensure stability of the subsector. This undertaking has been buoyed by the fact that the SACCO Societies Regulation Authority, SASRA, is really stronger now in terms of supervision, and that effort has achieved a core capital to assets ratio for deposits taking SACCO of 17.76% during the period. So that really has worked very well, because sometimes these cooperatives have been run corruptly, but now you can see there's a turnaround. And this turnaround is actually way ahead of the 10% requirement, and it implies stability of the subsector. The efforts also saw membership in SASRA regulated SACCOs increase from 6.1 million to 6.8 million members in the financial year 2023-2024. So you can see already over 700,000 people or farmers have actually joined SACCOs. And total savings have increased from 498 billion to 596 billion. Savings alone. So these are very lucrative area. This points to a growing saving culture by Kenyans, partly driven by the government's use of technology to reach out to new members and facilitation of branch expansion. So that is actually almost 0.6 trillion in shillings, one of the richest, sectors of our economy. To achieve the objectives of the cooperative subsector, the government will continue to fight corruption, as it happened with the Kenya Union of Savings and Credit Society, KUSCO, whose board of directors were dismissed this year after investigations revealed a loss of 6 billion shillings under unclear circumstances, and the dismissal of the Metropolitan SACCO board following reports that were generated out of an inquiry, and the recommendations that led to the election of an interim board to implement the recommendations of the report. So those days where SACCOs or societies were stealing money from members are long gone. Now let me turn to the water and sanitation sector. The government is obliged to ensure universal access to water for enhanced quality of life for its citizenry by improving access to safe water and sanitation services through infrastructure development and capacity building right from the county level. This is as per the provisions of economic and social rights in Article 43 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Towards this cause, the Ministry of Water, Irrigation and Sanitation has enhanced the level of national water coverage, increasing it from 70% in 2022 to 73% in 2024. So there's been an increase of about 3%. So you can imagine how much more we can do when all of the projects are mature. The increase has impacted over 5 million additional people who now have guaranteed access to clean and safe water across the country. The government has made a commitment to further increase the coverage to 74.5% this year, marking a 1.5% growth alone. This increase of connecting additional 2.5 million people to clean and safe water will really help in terms of even reducing waterborne diseases, and will ensure that all the 9 regional waterworks development agencies, namely the Tana, Athi, Northern, Central Rift, North Rift, Tanathi, Lake Victoria, and Coast Waterworks development agencies are well funded and well managed. The Central region is mainly served by the Tana and Athi agencies, and I think we have the CEO here who will be answering your questions, who have invested heavily in the subsector, mainly in the provision of dams and boreholes for water harvesting to enable supply for domestic use and crop irrigation. These are some of the key projects in the area. Number one, the Karimeno Water Dam project in Kiambu County, whose cost is approximately 23.6 billion and supplies 65,000 cubic meters a day. The project serves more than 1 million people in Ruiru, Juja, Gatondo, and Nairobi counties. So that is Kiambu and Nairobi counties, but in Ruiru, Juja, and Gatondo, in Kiambu and Nairobi counties recently. And there are very many success stories having been told about the Karimeno Dam. For example, we met James Kiriti, who is the head of Buchana Primary School and an ECD center, who says that there were classrooms that were made of mud before this project came, but now really these ISO-looking structures have been transformed into those of international standards. If you look at the Maragua bulk water project, which is being implemented at a cost of 800 million in Murang'a County, and was commissioned on February 15, 2024, these projects has a capacity of 8 million cubic meters with a water treatment plant capacity of 8,000 cubic meters per day. And it is really serving 16 schools, 2 industries, 10 health centers, and a general population of 50,000 people, with domestic water at capacity of about 4,000 cubic meters a day, and irrigation water supply to Kambiti, Kamahuha, and Geda wards, with a potential of expanding to more areas. Then there is the Northern Collector Water Tunnel, which is costing Kenya shillings 9.2 billion and has benefited 1.2 million people in Kiambu, Murang'a, and Kajiado counties, and lately also Nairobi. So you can see, really, ladies and gentlemen, today we have something to report of what the government is doing in terms of housing, in terms of dairy sector, in terms of water provisioning and sanitation, including sewerage services. There's a lot that we have been able to do in the past 2 years. And so I do believe that if this government is able to do so, what much more can it do in the remainder of the 3 years before 2027? Some of the other projects in the region include 14 completed water and sanitation interventions in Kirinyaga County at a cost of 1.75 billion. And these have been done in 7 learning institutions and 3 health facilities, and as I said earlier, serving 350,000 people. And they include Kirinyaga Kutu's water supply project. You know about that. The improvement of the Kirugoya County Referral Hospital, which is just near here, and also Kirinyaga High School borehole. Now, in terms of sanitation, it is very interesting to note that since 2022, the percentage in the country for sanitation, that is sewage, was about 22%, but it has now moved to 33%. That's a growth of 6%. And that is to mean more than 100,000 people are now benefiting from sewerage services. As I conclude, may I reiterate the government's commitment to the implementation of the 5 pillars of the Better Plan and the whole manifesto, whose objective is to eradicate hunger, growing the economy, and achieving inclusive growth in the spirit of leaving no one behind in all sectors of life and society. Kenya itasimama, Kenya itainuka, Kenya itanawiri kwa umoja na uzalendo. Mimi ni Mkenya mzalendo. Je, wewe? Asanteni.